to you? It's been a busy day. I hope that some of you, most of you, got a chance to watch our Pink Shirt Day live panel discussion with James P. White from 957 Cruise FM in Edmonton. That was great. 1,100 people watching. We were in almost about 100 classrooms across Canada, which was really cool. Talking about bullying. Jen Valentine was great. Nice to see her. Karima was incredible. My friend Ali Khan from Kids Help Phone was great. All in support of Kids Help Phone. It is Pink Shirt Day today, so what better people to bring along than my friends, including one in a pink shirt. Please welcome to the program, Marianne Iveson from Let's Take This Outside the Podcast. Marianne is back. Nice to see you, Marianne. In your pink shirt.
It says rude.
Rude. Well, it's Pink Shirt. It's Pink Shirt Day. It's about ending
Pink
bullying,
shirt.
which, by the way, started in Canada. Did you know that Pink Shirt Day started in Canada?
I thought it was just a Canadian thing. Has it spread?
I think it's worldwide. Yeah, I think a lot of people around the world started. There's a couple dudes in Halifax started the whole thing. Anyway, nice to see you. Glad you're here. And speaking of which, the biggest bully in the network, please welcome from the Hot Wallet Podcast, Mr.
The meanest
Scott
person
Trades.
I know, actually.
Yeah, like
thank
the
you. Hey guys,
guy
thanks for having me on. Yeah, it's good to see you both. It was Pink Shirt Day for my kids last week, and so I was a little surprised when I saw Pink Shirt Day today because I'm like, what? We recognized it last week. I don't know.
You know what it reminds me of is that so yesterday was Pancake Day or Shrove Tuesday, but there's actually 3 pancake days in the year, so I get confused. I just get confused.
Shrove? What is Shrove Tuesday? Explain that. Is that a religious holiday?
I think it's after the fasting, right? I think it's after the fasting, and then they gorge on pancakes.
Is that Catholic?
I think it's a Catholic thing. Yeah,
Is it? Yeah. So Shrove, like, what do you do on Shrove Tuesday? Is that isn't that the same time as Lent? Isn't that when Lent's supposed to start? It's like this thing where all Catholics have to give up the things they love the most.
I should remember this from Sunday school, but it kind of just all slipped my mind, to be honest.
Yeah. When's Waffle Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Oh, okay. Makes sense now. I got it.
Today?
Yeah.
Is that today?
Stir Fry Saturdays on the weekend. I'll let you guess which day that is, too. It's a potluck at the church. Yeah. So I didn't know it was Shrove Tuesday. Yeah, go ahead.
You know what I love about church is those little triangle sandwiches that the elders would make, the elderly women would make, and they were always so delightful and delicious. Like there was like egg salad and salmon and like maybe some ham. We get some ham
arsenic.
Sometimes.
What?
No.
Some arsenic in the potluck?
No, that's never happened at Valletta Presbyterian Church ever. No.
I'm sure it has.
Little egg sandwiches were my favorite.
Those are the funeral sandwiches, right? Like that was the only really good thing about church is like I only got excited because I used to go to church all the time when I was a kid because my parents put me in the cult. They're like, come on, it's a lot of fun. God. And so they did. I still love them for it. It's okay. So they put me in the cult and I'm like, oh, fuck, I hate it here so much. And they're like, you got to go because if you don't, you're going to hell. I'm like, that can't be true. And then I remember my dad one time when we first started going to church, he's like, we're having a potluck lunch. I'm like, I don't even know what that is. And he's like, that's where everybody brings sandwiches and they put them in the basement and then everybody sits and they eat together. And I'm like, there's food in church. People eat lunch in church. This is incredible. So we go downstairs, and it is a spread of the worst shit everybody could make in 20 minutes. And one of the things they made at this potluck was something called a meat pie. Meat pie. And I'm like, well, meat pie sounds good. I'll eat it. So I cut a piece of it, and I put it on my plate, and I start trying to eat it. And all I smelled was urine. All I smelled was pee. And I'm like, this fucking reeks. What the fuck is this? Weird. Pea pie. It smells like
and that's when he said, church is not for me. I'm only coming back when it's taco in a bag.
You're gonna have to cater this with pizzas for me to come back. So I go back up to the fucking potluck table and I'm like, what am I eating? Because everything was labeled and it said kidney pie. So I'm eating a kidney pie, which I'd never eaten in my life. And if you haven't tried a kidney pie, they tried to kill us with them in potluck lunches at churches, and it's a terrible idea. I've never had one since and never would. It literally smells like urine. If you had a kidney pie, you have to admit it smells like pee. It smells like dirty, rusty urine. Like I've smelled that before.
Have you ever? Go ahead, Scott.
Sorry, go ahead. I was gonna say maybe you don't hate church. Maybe you just hate meat pies.
I'm pretty sure I hate church too.
Oh, okay.
Actually, more than I hate meat pies, I hate church.
What are our thoughts on like tortilla? What are our thoughts on like a steak? Like a Guinness beef pie, like an Irish.
Love it.
Aren't you British? Aren't you British?
Yeah, totally British. Sharman's Proper. My friend James Sharman owns a pie company where they make like a pie subscription. This is a true story. pie subscription. So you can go, I want the turkey and the cheese, and I want the steak and the egg, and I want you to send me a pizza pie too. And you get a subscription, and every month it's like a surprise what kind of pie you get. And James Sharman is like the voice of soccer in Canada. He's one of the greatest guys in the world. And when he got let go from Sportsnet, it was right at the start of the pandemic, and his wife's like, we better start making fucking British pies.
Wait, so what if he sends you a
and now he's got like 20 locations, and he's got fucking thousands of pies that go out. And now he's like, soccer's my side hustle. I'm a pie guy right now. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the pies.
Does he make kidney pie? He should make kidney pie.
I hope not. I'd disown him if he did. And it's fascinating too, because like everybody's in a crunch, right, for food. Yesterday, you put out this incredible video, and I was shocked by it, because I haven't been to IKEA for dinner as an adult ever, by the way. Not many people do. Like, not many people, specifically single swinging people like yourself that are going concerns, go, you know what I'm going to treat myself to? A nice IKEA dinner.
There's a story. This IKEA situation was a whole situation. So I'd ordered things from IKEA, and they give you a very small window to pick things up. And I was like, and I was even out of the window. So I'm like, okay, I have to go tonight, or they're going to return it. And then I just don't know what to do. So it was like a panic. So I show up like half an hour before it closes, but I'm like, I'm a little hungry. I have to fast tomorrow morning, because I have to do a blood test at like 8 a.m. I'm like, maybe I should put something in my stomach. But I was starving. So it wasn't the main cafeteria at IKEA. It was like, at the checkout, I don't know what it's like in Toronto, but at the checkout they have.
It's just like the one you have in Ottawa, only bigger and better.
Probably. Okay. So the checkout, there's like this a little cafe almost, where you can get, and half the things were blocked out. Like you couldn't get chili, for example, but you could get hot dogs, you could get veggie dogs, you could get their fake ice cream, and I was like, a cinnamon bun, and I'm like, maybe I'll try it. And so, and then I go, and then do you have the video?
Yeah, I've got the video here. It's incredible. I want to touch on two things after we play this, because I got angry after watching this. Angry that I hadn't thought to do what you're doing here, like everybody else has with rising food prices, inflation, etc. And angry that you had to do your own ordering. But anyway, let's watch this. This is you at IKEA. Okay. And I love the fact you're talking to yourself like you're literally insane while you're doing it too. Let's watch it together.
So cheap. What else I got? It's $1. It's an 8.
God, what a deal.
Okay, did you please tell me that you appreciated the background music? Can we listen to it one more time?
Yeah, the music. Yeah, it's incredible. Listen to it.
So cheap.
So cheap. This is my nightmare, by the way.
$1.
$1. You're shocked. But when I saw that, I'm like, holy fuck, IKEA has hot dogs for $1. Like, what a life hack that is, Scott. Do you not have an IKEA in Lethbridge? You got
not
one down
in Lethbridge. There? Here's my thought, though. Their furniture isn't made of real wood. What makes you think their hot dogs are made of real meat?
It says beef and pork right in the little one.
Yeah, okay.
That's a little quotation.
Sure,
it's like beef and pork.
They can put like 2% of a cow in there and then call it a beef. Just saying.
What way to shit on her incredible hot dog life hack, Scott.
Here's what I want her to do. I want her to compare the $1 hot dog from IKEA with the $1.50 hot dog and pop from Costco, and tell me which one is the best.
That's a great point, because if you're looking to eat on a budget, and this is what we do here, give you life advice to have a good time, to experience a hot dog under $2. It's a great time. That's so much fun. But if you haven't been to IKEA for a hot dog, and if you haven't been to Costco for the $1.50 hot dog, by the way, inflation proof, it's liquid meat. It's always fucking inflation proof. Eyeballs and assholes in a tube, inflation free. You can like serve your entire family on a $15 budget. Like you could literally go to Costco, and the Costco hot dogs are significantly bigger than the IKEA hot dogs. They make the Costco Costco hot dog makes the IKEA hot dog look like it's a hot dog made for children, like a baby's. That's how big the Costco hot dog is, and it's 50 cents more. So that's a great point. I really appreciate you doing that Costco hot dog math for us, Scott.
I would definitely remember the last time I think Marianne and I were on one time, and she was talking about how much shawarma she can get for a certain amount of money, and how it's more than at a grocery store. And so I really think let's take this outside. The podcast should be, let's take this to a restaurant and see how much food she can get. Maybe it's based on weight or just meat, and say, let's see how much money how much food I can get for the least amount of money, and start with $2. Like, just say,
the cheap ass chef. Yeah,
what
the
can I do?
cheap ass takeout chef. That's what you're talking about. A whole series.
I do love my loose meats, so this is a good idea. Okay, but Scott, well, you must have not have read my blog, because I did the math for you. Because last time when I was on, I did the whole shawarma math, and we figured out that it was cheaper to get Shawarma Palace here in Ottawa and get a few meals out of it than actually go buy all the ingredients for shawarma. So instead, I decided, I'm like, okay, I'm going to look at the Loblaws. Like, Loblaws is kind of like the where we're looking here, and I'm like, okay, is it cheaper to buy these IKEA hot dogs, or is it cheaper to go and go to Loblaws and get stuff? So I actually did the math. If you buy it's the Schneider's hot dogs, and if you buy just their regular white buns, it's still 18 cents more expensive per hot dog, fully formed, to when you buy it at the grocery store. So I just want to point that out, that I still did the math for you. It's on the blog at the website. So I just want to point that out.
I need to go to criermedia.co and check that out.
Thank you for the plug. Why am I still like
Let's just keep it on her the whole time.
She's making you uncomfortable because you got right to the end of it.
Here's the thing though, is that this is from the very beginning, that me coming on this show, is that I hate when you isolate me, and I've started to warm up to it a little bit, but when I'm still on it way too long, I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable, and you're actually lucky that I just don't stop talking and stare at the screen, because I could do that too and just
kill
make
the
it
whole
super
mood,
awkward.
kill the whole
vibe. She does this all day for the radio. She just stares at the screen talking to herself. So this is her comfort zone.
She does.
I have a mirror in my booth because I love to look at myself when I record. So
as you should. Yeah, you can check your hair out, and then when you get going somewhere, you can go, fuck, I did my hair in the booth. It's not that big of a deal. So you did a blog, your very first one in ever.
You're welcome.
Well, you've done two, but this is your first one at Crier. And then on the right hand side of the screen, Scott Trades, our man Scott, the big fella. He did his first podcast of the year, Hot Wallet Podcast. Yeah. There's something in the water here today. Who did you talk to, Scott? And what motivated you to do that job?
Well, this is not my first podcast of the year. Yeah. My first one was called The Politicization of Bitcoin, that talks about how Pierre Poilievre and Justin Trudeau are throwing around Bitcoin like a volleyball, like a political volleyball. And that one I put out last month, and it's more just like commentary piece. This was my first interview of the 2023 season, and it's with a guy who I interviewed last year. His name is Timothy Peterson, and he is an alternative investment advisor with a company called Cane Island. He actually invited me to go see him live in Las Vegas last October. And so I did. I got to meet his wife. He's extremely smart, does really interesting work. And one of the reports that he and I are going to talk about this week, I'll probably end up dropping it on Friday or Saturday, just whenever I can put it out. And so one thing that I thought was really interesting is that more money flowed into Bitcoin in 2022 than into oil, gold, and agriculture.
Come on.
I'm not making it up. More institutional money flowed into Bitcoin than all three of those sectors. And that tells him, hey, there's something interesting going on here. And what it also showed, Dean, is that people with low amounts of Bitcoin, let's say $300 to $500, Lachlan Cross, they sold in 2022, and they sold it to these whales who are buying large amounts of Bitcoin. And people are assuming that the whales are large institutions. And so that's just one of many things that we'll talk about. We're also going to talk about investing in artificial intelligence, AI, Chat GPT. It's been really popular. How can you invest in that? We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about gold and other forms of energy. It's going to be action-packed. So look for that. It's I don't know what the title is going to be, but probably something along the lines of Bitcoin Whale Watching with Timothy Peterson.
I'm excited for that. Yes, go ahead, Marianne.
I have a question.
Yeah,
I have a question. Because I don't understand any of this. What I do see as a nature lover. Why are you laughing?
Shouldn't that be like, I have a question, I don't understand any of this? Can you re-explain all of that?
Why are there so many references to animals? Like we have the bear market and the whale watching and the why are we
bull market?
The bull.
Yeah.
Oh, so, is it bear or bull?
There's
Are they
both. Yeah, you got
There's
both. Yeah.
There's both. So why is there so many references to animals? That's the only reason I'm interested, to be honest.
That's a great question. I can tell you why they are. I don't know why people started.
Is it a great question, Scott, or are you just humoring Marianne because it's not a great question?
No, it is.
Okay,
it
let's
is.
talk stock market. Let's talk the animals. Why are they named after animals?
It's not the first time. I think it's because we all have outdoor animal spirits. And so the reason it's called a bull market is because a bull will go up with its horns, push something up. And a bear, and so bull market means it's going up. And then a bear market, a bear swipes down.
Why isn't it a giraffe?
Well,
I would like to rename the animals, please. Okay, what's going down? Shouldn't it be like a fish?
Bear, because swiping down.
Swiping down. Okay, and then
the bear's out for blood.
Yeah.
Okay, and the whale is because they are large.
Yeah, and they're scooping up all of the little fish,
like with their
big
mouths.
Whale mouth.
Yeah, that's why, like krill. That's what whales eat. Krill and shrimp. Krill is a type of shrimp, and so they eat the little fish, and that's what it's called. That's why a whale is a whale. He comes around and eats all the little fish.
Yeah, you should really pivot into animals. Outdoor animals.
Yeah.
Since Locke's not here, I had to ask questions. So.
Let's take this to an arboretum.
Sorry.
That's what you should name your podcast.
Marianne goes to the zoo.
Yeah. Okay. Back up, Scott. You said something earlier. They spent more money went through Bitcoin accounts than went through in agriculture and like all the other fucking supply and demand sustainable industries in this country. How much money went through Bitcoin? How much money was lost in Bitcoin in 2022?
I mean, I can't tell you how much money was lost because everyone's price is.
You don't want to talk about it because you want people to keep buying Bitcoin. So tell me,
how much was
lost? I think you're lying.
No, I don't. I can't tell you how much is lost. I don't have that data on me. But Tim's report says well over $10 billion went into Bitcoin in 2022 on the way down. And so billions and billions of dollars went into Bitcoin. And some of these institutions are holding around the $25,000 kind of $30,000 range. And when a lot of these institutions buy, they're not buying to flip it. They're not looking to just sell for a 10% gain. They're in it for the longer term. And so, over 10 billion. I know for sure. I have the report on my computer. I could probably send it to you. Or you can just watch the podcast when it comes out at hotwallet.ca.
Hotwallet.ca. I'm going to watch that podcast because I'm doing a little bit of okay, fingers up, Marianne.
Here we go again. Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. The fox. Why can't it be called a fox market?
I just want to point out
a puppy market. Go ahead.
Scott did an interview with his friend in terrestrial radio this week.
Yeah.
And you retweeted it, and we were shocked that you wanted to share that.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
Did you even know that you did that?
Yeah, I did. You talked about Bitcoin with a couple of people that you used to work with and people that are in radio, correct? This is what you're talking about? Yeah. And I thought it was awesome because I listened to it because I pay attention to what all of you do. You guys might not know this. I'm a good person who likes to share all of your content because if I share your content, it's really good. Everybody will look at it, right? And then we all do better and everybody else is happier. Why are you just because it was traditional media? You thought I hated radio that much?
You literally talk about it every day.
You had two radio people on your show. You have two radio people on your show and you're like, I can't believe he's promoting radio. I wasn't. I was promoting you.
I appreciated it. And I told Marianne that she should stop saying those mean things about you in private.
She should have. Yeah. She's awful.
It's rude.
She's fucking terrible. Speaking of awful, Scott, you sent this to me before we move on from you. You sent this to me, and I was shocked that you sent this to me because this is not the kind of content that you normally send me. Normally, it's like, here's Sam Bankman-Fried's new haircut.
Oh, okay.
Or hey, look at Sam Bankman-Fried running.
Oh no.
Well, you sent me this headline, and I'm like, I missed it, and I don't know how I missed it because this is right down my pipe, if you will, right up my alley, if you like. A headline from 5 days ago: average penis length has grown in 30 years. Doctors call it concerning.
I'm not concerned.
I forgot I said that to you. What time of night was it? I might have been a little deep into some indica that time.
Yeah, it was 1:11 a.m. my time, so it might have been like 11:11 your time. Does that sound about right? Is that usually when you're twisted up?
Marianne knows this, but I had a bit of a rough weekend, Dean. It was a tough weekend, and so I may have gone down a bit of a rabbit hole with articles to get my mind out of where it was. It was not in a good place.
Doesn't matter. After you sent that to me, I'm like, what do you mean it's fucking concerning? This is the best news I've heard in the last 3 years. It's been all doom and gloom, medical doom and gloom. So I went and looked up the article, and it's 100% fucking true.
What does it say?
I don't know. Well, let me read it to you because it's a fascinating article. And this is from Euronews.green. It's also in The Guardian. This is a very well-attended story from a few days ago. I don't know how I fucking missed it. Penises are getting long. What's that?
You're off the ball.
I am
literally.
You don't have your Google penis length alerts on coming up.
I have those actually. Is that okay?
Can you set a Google alert for a penis length story? Is that a real thing? Is that
probably?
I have mine set for that. Yeah, actually, you know what? I have it also on Twitter.
Push notifications.
Yeah, I get push.
I'm so interested in penises that I want a notification anytime someone on Google talks about big penises.
My entire TikTok is just that. That's my entire TikTok.
As it should be. So here's the article. Penises are getting longer, and scientists say we should be concerned about it. Let's put a pin in that for a sec. The average global penile length has increased 24% over the past 29 years. 24%. New meta-analysis from Stanford University concluded that compiled data from 75 studies done between 1942 and 2021. That's a commitment to a study. 1942 to 2021. The penile length of 55,761 men, they found that the average erect length increased 4.8 inches to 6 inches. So roughly about 1 inch and 2 centimeters. The headline elicited a giggle from people this last week because it was big news, but doctors are saying that they're concerned. Quote, the increase happened over a relatively short period of time. Any overall change in penis development is concerning because our reproductive system is one of the most important pieces of human biology. He said, we're seeing this as a fast change and it's something that's happening to our bodies and we're concerned. Why are penises getting longer? Great question. The researchers expected to see a decline in the average male penis length over time. They were surprised by the result, they said, which could be caused by a number of factors, chief among them harmful chemicals and pesticides and other things we are putting in our bodies like injections, disruptive chemical injections. Now, having said all that, I don't see the problem. Number one, penises are getting bigger. You have to do nothing for it. People say it's chemicals and things we're putting in our bodies. Great, good news, awesome. I went down the rabbit hole with this story a little bit. There are 2 stories now that the crazies are using to tell people they shouldn't get vaccinated. 15-minute cities is the new one. You guys know about that, the weirdness about that. Oh, don't, because they'll kill you. All that stuff is fucking weird. And the other one is this story. Scott, you were going down the rabbit hole on the weekend, and good for you. So now what a lot of churches are doing and groups and people online, they're trying to warn people of the dangers of the vaccine with this news, that your penis size is growing and doctors are calling it concerning because of the things you're putting in your body. I don't know one man who isn't vaccinated. If he read that story about getting a bigger penis and someone from the anti-vax community was like, you don't do it, that is not just a call to action. That's a limited benefit right there for getting vaccinated. Like, if that's the case and the things we're putting in our bodies are giving us bigger dingers, I don't know one crazy anti-vaxxer who would go, you know what, forget it. That's the key right there. Mm-hmm. That is the key to getting everybody on the same page, is to take that study, not weaponize it, but use it as a pamphlet. You know, like when you go to church and everybody's like, what are you all about? Well, we're all about this. We're all about big penises. And if you take this fucking injection, not only will you have one, your kids' penises will grow. Your generational penises will grow. You'll be the big penis family. Isn't that great news? Like, shouldn't we be taking that information and using it like that instead?
Totally. I think it depends on where you get the vaccine too in your body. I think the lower on your body you get the vaccine, maybe that's how it affects it.
The bigger the penis it gets over time. Marianne, your point.
I have thank you. I'm actually a little pissed off being a woman because when women get like vaccines or anything, any of the hormonal stuff that we get for birth control that we have to take or should be taking, it totally messes us up. It completely makes us angrier and bitchier and depressed and suicidal and makes us want to jump off a cliff and makes us like lay on the floor in pain for a week, having pregnancy issues. It gives us all these things, but for men, oh no, for men, just makes your penises bigger. That's my point. That's my point. That for women, it like completely, right? For women, anything we do to our bodies, anything we add to our bodies, right? And you guys are like, it's gonna make your penis a little bit bigger.
You might say you got the short end of the stick, Marianne.
I hate it.
You might.
No, I'm not laughing at any of this.
You might say that. You bring up a good point. There is a disparity between the female physiology and the male physiology. And I do know that women are much tougher than men because of what they have to deal with all the time. And from going to the bathroom, which is a bunch easier for us because we just have to stand there and unzip our pants. It's a whole routine for women. From going to the bathroom to the benefits of vaccines, you're right. You're right. You got shoved. I apologize.
You don't have to apologize for it.
I'm just wanting to apparently make our wieners bigger, though.
I wanted to point it out. That's another unfair thing. Another thing. Just adding it to the list.
Feels like it,
right?
I'd contact Pfizer and say if they can fix that in the next booster. What would you want to happen to your body if you had if it was up to you? Yeah.
If really, okay, there's a question.
No, I don't need them. No, I don't need
that. If vaccine made your boobs bigger, would you be like, yeah, let's go? If you were not vaccinated?
For me, no, I don't need that, to be honest. But I could see some women being like, all right, that's cheaper than a boob job, right? So
yeah,
for sure.
Scott, if you weren't vaccinated and then you found out that this study was true and they're like, I guess, would
bigger
it be like
arm muscles for sure? I mean, I can't, it's pretty small. I think the microphone is bigger than my arms.
It's not, dude. You're a big tough guy. I find it fascinating. And it's crazy because we're still talking about these vaccines. Like the fact that people use this stuff, like Jamie Saleh, did you see her tweet? Alberta's on fire, by the way. Theo Fleury and Jordan Peterson, Jamie Saleh both made huge news over the past 2 days. Have you guys been following
show me.
I saw the one where she called for the exexecution of people. I thought that was a little harsh. I thought it was a little over the line.
A little harsh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Jamie Saleh, Canada's former figure skating darling. Someone puts out a tweet like, who's on your public executions list that you would watch on pay-per-view? This person is Fauci, Biden, Justin Trudeau, George Soros, Bill Gates, Klaus Schwab, Albert Bourla. And Jamie Saleh not only co-signed it, she's like, yeah, that looks like a good list. Let's murder those people, including the fucking prime minister of the country she lives in.
How is that allowed? How it just feels like they're angry. They're angry, and I feel like they just need to calm down. Yeah. Like, maybe you can hate someone and not have them murdered. Like, do they know that?
No, I don't think they do. And I don't understand the anger too. Like, I do understand the anger because they're all brainwashed and weird and all that stuff. But like, even a brainwashed person would have a concept of like threatening the life of the leader of your country online and go, I don't know if that's a fucking net positive for me. I don't know if I should be doing that. I don't know if I should be agreeing with like who should we execute from the pandemic that believed in vaccines. Let's start with Justin Trudeau, especially if you've got, 100,000 followers on Twitter and there's a group of people that take you seriously. I found it fucking fascinating. Like, I've seen a lot of people defend her, and I've also seen over the past, because we put that out, you can get it at crier.co, and I've also seen a lot of people that did defend her come out and go, okay, yeah, we're done. I can't defend that. I'm out. I can't. You can't be killing people.
What percentage of her followers are still like skating fans? Like, what percentage are like, I'm just here for the ride and I don't know what happened, and I just haven't opened up my Twitter.
I cheered for her during the Olympics.
That's all I get now from people. I posted that and they're like, I regret cheering for her in the Olympics. Everybody, every single person. Do you know how hard I clapped for her 24 years ago? And I'm like, probably pretty hard. Like, now you can. And she's like, and then some guy was like, hey, and this is a true story. So I put that out. He's like, so is she done with ice capades or no?
I wish she was doing like Disney on Ice. I wish she was touring the country.
She got fired. She was a consultant for Disney on Ice and got fired. And then she was a consultant and an ambassador for the Special Olympics. And they're like, yeah, we can't have someone trying to murder the prime minister because we get a lot of government funding here. So, Jamie, you're going to have to go over there. You're just going to have to go over there. That's what it is. But it's everybody. Like, and they pick things out like Jordan Peterson. I saw this today. I wanted to run this by you guys today, too. Very triggered. Not, I know he's always triggered, but Jordan Peterson, again from Alberta. I was an Alberta guy. Jamie Saleh, an Alberta girl. Was in a public bathroom and he got so mad at the paper towel to the point where he took a picture of the paper towel holder, which had a sticker on it that said, remember, you don't need an arm's length of paper towel to dry your hands. And he was so mad that they kind of were like, hey, don't take too much toilet paper because it's bad for the environment. He tweets, up yours, woke moralists.
Tyranny
is always petty. And petty tyranny will not save the fucking planet. He's triggered by paper towels now. He's literally so mad that the sticker on it. Well, hang on. That the sticker on a paper towel roller said, "Hey, don't take too much." He's like, "Fuck you" to the paper towel holder, and then posted it on Twitter.
And then he walked out with a few rolls for the home. I'm taking these. Take that, environment.
And it's such a nice like picture, and it has like a forest scene at the bottom, and it's got like these nice little graphics. And it's like, please don't take more paper towel. And he's like, ugh, and he's so mad.
Yeah, he's so mad. And then people in the comments were super mad too. They're like, that's a lecture on a sticker. Some guy's like, that's a lecture. I'm like, do you really think stickers talk to you? Is that like that where you're at in your life, that you look at that sticker that says, reduce, reuse, and recycle, and you're like, fuck you, woke prick? Like, that's where we're at, where people are so mad at stickers because they're like, that's a woke sticker. I can't fucking pay attention to the woke sticker. And I'm mad at that woke sticker because it's telling me what to do. That's where we're at, kids.
So
I'd hate to see how he reacts when he gets to a stop sign. How dare you tell me to stop? I don't think so.
So is recycling and composting now a woke thing?
Yes,
technically,
very much. Yeah, because none of those people believe in climate change, right? And isn't that the skinny Scott is like the same people who don't believe in woke anything or who've kind of taken over that word. The same people that get mad at toilet paper holders and call them tyrannical. I mean, fuck, are you serious? This guy is a doctor. This guy has more degrees than most people have fucking hair on their head, and he's triggered by a paper towel dispenser.
And it's probably, if you bring up the sign, you can see how it says Greenest City 2020. Yeah. So that was probably put there 2019, 2018 as like we want to be the greenest city in the future. And, it was probably way before everything, way before the lockdowns and the masks and all that stuff. And so it feels like he's he's just looking for reasons to be angry and looking for reasons to keep the narrative of it all alive. I mean, if you think about it, and you can say that the protesters who celebrated the protest of the freedom protest are still kind of doing that. What can we be mad at to keep this anger and keep this narrative alive? Because I feel like people are listening to me when I yell real loud. And so that's what it feels like to me. It just feels like they're looking for reasons to be mad because they are looking for reasons to stay relevant when, the world is really trying to move past, the vaccine sucked. Lockdowns sucked. It all sucked. I'm not going to say 2020 and the pandemic was a fun time. It wasn't. I don't know anyone that had fun, but they're still angry about that and looking for any reason to keep that narrative alive.
Do you think he's maybe trolling? Do you think there's a possibility that he's completely just trying to like push the buttons on the left or on like, I don't know, just normal people?
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Totally. I think that's his way of saying, fuck the world. Do you know what I mean? I think that's his way of saying, you know what, I'm going to piss people off on purpose, all those woke moralists, because I hate all those woke moralists. And then he gets all woke moralists. Listen, I do the same thing with Justin Trudeau shirtless pictures riding on a moose. I'm like, this guy shot down 2 UFOs. He's such a hunk. And everybody's like, I hate you so much for putting that up. But to my point is, I kind of like the guy now. Like I know I've gone all out on Jordan Peterson, but like he's just a caricature of a meme at this point. Like a guy that chooses to spend his time, who's got 5.5 million followers on YouTube, a guy who's got millions of dollars, a guy who separated himself from the ability to not make money. Like he's a made dude, and he did it himself. And he's taking his time out of the day to walk by a fucking paper towel holder and go, "That's it." Like that's enough. I think that's funny. Like I'm enjoying this now. Same with Jamie Salé. Like somewhere in her mind, she was like, you know what? Let's hang everybody. Let's kill them all. I'm done. And I'm like, ooh, this is interesting. Now I want to see what happens from that. And same thing with like Theo Fleury. Everybody's angry about Theo Fleury all the time. And I'm like, no, this guy is pure fucking entertainment, because not only does he not read, he can't write, he can't spell, and everything he says is dumber than the next. Like this tweet he put out today. More and more liberals are being diagnosed with mass formation psychosis.
What does that mean?
It's nothing. It's a nothing thing. He just made it up. There's no such thing as mass formation psychosis. There's no diagnosis for it. It's not a medical condition, and he spelled psychosis totally wrong as well. But that's my point, is that like this is like beyond satire at this point, is it not?
From like, is there any
part
of you?
I'm not scared by it or preventative. Like I'm not that guy now that's like, we need to stop these. But fuck that. Keep this up. I love it. Jordan Peterson's taking pictures in public bathrooms, going, "They told me not to take too much paper towel." Jamie Salé is like threatening to murder people. I mean, it doesn't get better than this. This is what we waited for. Sorry, Marianne, go ahead.
I just, first of all, I think it's just extremely dangerous, especially what Jamie Salé just put out. But like, isn't there a part of you that feels bad for them, or are you completely past that? Because when I think about like the protesters and the people in Ottawa, right, I went through a lot of like emotional roller coaster when they were here, right?
Yeah.
And I did have a point where I was like empathetic, and I was like, like maybe I feel a little bit bad for them. And then
no, you didn't. No, you didn't. I talked to you that whole time. You didn't have an empathetic day in that whole fucking month.
There was like a couple hours in there.
No, not at all. Actually, there were zero. Like you're making all of that up. I would get a phone call or a DM from you. It's like, I'm losing my fucking mind. These assholes can leave anytime they want. Is that is that empathy? Where you're from?
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Tilbury empathy. Is that the deal?
I'm trying to be like, so like, what's the word? You're righteous right now.
Yeah, self-righteous.
Virtue flexing.
Yeah,
virtue signaling.
Shouldn't we feel bad for them? Like, shouldn't we feel bad because they're clearly mentally ill? Like, isn't that?
I think it's one of the phases. I don't know about you, Scott. Like, there's been phases to this stuff for me. Like, at first, it was like at the unbelievable phase. It was like, fuck, can you say that? Like, And I'm a big fan of being able to say whatever you want. And then it was like, fuck, are you seriously going to retweet that? It's so wrong. It's like technically wrong at 1,000 levels. And then you're like, you got to stop this because people are dying and they're sick and all the other stuff. And now this is the third phase. And the third phase for me is like, sit back, relax, call it what it is. Have a great time and watch people melt their own brains on a daily basis. That's it. That's where I'm at with all of this. Like, especially all the influencers, people like Jamie, people like Jordan, people like Theo, who really do believe that they're onto something. They're convinced. I find that fucking hilarious now as well, where it's like, really, tell me more. I'd love to know more about where you're coming. Do you know what I mean, Scott? Like, it's that's where I'm at. It's like I'm in the third final enjoyment phase of the craziness, to be honest with you.
I don't know how Marianne feels about this, but I just feel like they should be focusing on other things that are much more important right now and trying to fix those problems. Like I keep feeling like the war in Ukraine keeps escalating and escalating. And here are these people, and they're still focused on something that happened 2 years ago. And we're still living through the war in Ukraine right now with food inflation and energy inflation and all this stuff. And I feel like just so much of that energy is being wasted.
Yeah, it is, but there's got to be something in it for us too. Do you know what I mean? Like there's got to be something in it for us as we watch all this at this point, because we've had to deal with all of it. And to me, it's the entertainment factor. And I get what you're saying. It's like you could have done something with your life while you were angry about this. And now we're seeing it kind of all, come together. And I have to frame it like that. Like I have to take this whole experience and go, oh, okay, this is not serious anymore. Like I don't find any of these people dangerous. I don't find Jamie dangerous. I definitely don't find Jordan Peterson dangerous. I think the ship has sailed and everybody kind of knows what these people are all about. But I don't my question now is like, at what point do these people go, all right, it hasn't worked for 7 years. I guess I should give it up and go get a job. You know what I mean? Or go do something constructive.
I think they're so far into the hole at this point that they're fully consumed by it, and that it takes up their brain space from the moment they wake up, from the moment they go to bed. So I don't think there's anything that can get them out of the hole. I'm just talking about the average person who is on this bandwagon, than someone to physically have an intervention and shake them out of it, or like throwing them into therapy. Like, I don't think there's any turning around at this point.
No, I think you're right. So why don't we just enjoy it? Like, because some of the stuff that we've seen, like today I watched this video of this woman who asked for extra ketchup on her cheeseburger. And they put extra ketchup on her cheeseburger, but it was too much ketchup.
Can we see?
Yeah. Not only can you watch it, her boss managed to see the video and he fired her, and now she doesn't have a job because of this video. So I want to talk about that too.
Ketchup? Where's your manager? Can I speak to your manager? I asked for extra ketchup, and I thought, what is this? What is this? This is so much ketchup. I can't eat that. Are you making fun of me because I'm on a diet?
Honey, the ketchup.
It's all pretend, dude. No way is that real. There's no way.
The ketchup is not. What do you mean you're on a diet? The ketchup isn't going to save you. Like, less ketchup isn't going to save you.
Yeah.
No, she wanted more ketchup.
Oh, she wanted more.
Extra ketchup.
Oh,
well, she slammed it down because she's on a diet. Lady, you are at McDonald's.
This stuff gives me too much anxiety.
So Scott laughs every time she throws the thing on the fucking counter.
I think it's crazy.
It stresses me out so much. Oh, no, I don't like it.
It's totally real. And she's got her Kate +8 haircut. And here she's talking about how she after that whole experience, her boss saw the video and she got fired. Is this too much?
I wanted to come out and publicly let everyone know that was me in the video. After this video,
we could tell. Sweet dude.
This video was published on TikTok. It went viral and news organizations wrote about me. And I honestly have no idea. I am simply baffled that this is possible. People found out where I work and they sent the video to my employer. Mm-hmm. I was then fired from my job. That's right, I was fired. Which I find to be extremely unfair because all I was doing was going to get my weekly cheat meal, and it was...
Oh, there it is. Oh, because she's starving. I got it now. She's starving, and she's just angry. She's hangry.
That's hangry?
That's hanger. That is hanger. Yeah. It's hanger.
The McDonald's employees that did not follow the simple directions that I asked for. So I felt that I had the right to come in and let them know that my burger was not made correctly. I did nothing wrong. Literally, I did nothing wrong. So please leave me alone. This is extremely unfair of you guys to do this to me. Thank you.
No, this is payback for your reaction. You could have said, yeah, you know what? It's a little too much ketchup. Can I have another burger? She did not choose that road. She chose the freak out, slam the burger on the ground. You people are idiots road. And so this is a great lesson for anyone who has to go in and deal with a situation that is not pleasant. We've all had to go back and take food that, they made a mistake on this. If like 9 times out of 10, and I love tea, if I go to McDonald's and they put cream in the tea instead of milk, it ruins the flavor and it ruins the tea, and I don't want to drink it because it just feels like soup. And so I'll be like,
I learned something about you today that's actually quite funny.
Can you please put milk in? Because I asked for milk. And they've, I'm really sorry. I'm making 1,000 teas a day. I get it all mixed up. And so, okay, it's a bummer, but choose how you react. Choose how you respond.
I would love to see a video of you going into Tim Hortons and being like, "There's cream in my tea." Like I
asked for milk, the other white liquid.
Here's what I do: I walk in, I don't say anything, and I just splash it in their face, and then I hope it all works out in the end. Luckily, no one has TikTok around when I'm doing it.
I do. I have to go soon, so I have to admit something I did yesterday on the way to IKEA that I'm actually a little embarrassed about that neither of you know about. But it
You
almost
litter?
no, it plays into you know how there's a stereotype that women are bad drivers?
Did you hit a car and not leave a note? Is that what
No,
you did?
no, none of this. But yesterday there was snow on the ground, by the way. There was like fresh snow, and IKEA has like little islands that separate lanes. And so I was pulling into a parking spot, and all I hear is kunk, and then I keep going
Oh
and
no.
kunk, and it was
Oh.
like scraping the bottom of my car, and I didn't see the island at all. And I thought I got away with it, as in like I thought no one saw. Like I thought there was like no one that saw it. I was like, that's really embarrassing. I kind of looked under my car, everything looked okay. But like it, when it's painful when you like hit something or when you like run into something, it was like that kind of incident. But then I was walking into IKEA and the guy's like, "Is your car okay?" I'm like, what are you talking about?" He's like, we saw what happened." And I was like, "Yeah." I'm like, I'm really embarrassed." They're like, "It's snow." They were so nice about it. They were like, It's snowing. It was covered. You couldn't see it."
You know what happened when you walked away, though?
Oh.
They're like, fucking chick.
What an idiot. I was so like, but they're like, "It's okay."
I love those things where you do them
okay.
like in public and you make a fool out of yourself or something like that happens and you just pray nobody saw you. And then someone pulls up to you next to the red light or they stop you in the front of the building and they're like, "Hey, I saw that." And you're like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
That was me.
I don't know what you're saying. You didn't see anything. No. We saw you do that. Everything's okay. You're like, "No, you're an idiot. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't mess up."
You could see the snow scraped off the island from my car. It was like this big chunk, and I was like, "Oh."
You're not a bad driver. And you know what? Women drivers are better drivers than men. It's
true. It's factual. I was just playing into the stereotype that
At a girl.
I'm sure you've talked about before.
No, never. No, never. I would never ever say that women are worse drivers than men publicly. No, never.
Not
I would never say it out loud.
Days?
No, never do it. Can't do it. No, it's a misogynist thing to say. I'm not a misogynist.
Okay.
I play it right down the middle. You should know that by now.
It's fact.
It is. And it's career limiting, to be honest with you. It's one of those things where you go, "Hey, women suck at this." And it gets everybody's attention. And it's not great attention.
Did you guys see that video? We don't have it right now. Did you guys see that video of they were covering it? I don't know who was covering it, but it was sports announcers, and they were talking about women's basketball, and they're like, "Okay, now on to the real basketball," and then went to the men's basketball. Did you guys see that?
No.
It's on my Twitter.
Is it really? I gotta go check it out. Now on to real basketball?
Yeah. I like retweeted that very recently. I wish I could play it for you. If you guys want to keep talking.
And I wanted to ask you about this too, and I know you got to go, but on the weekend, Tiger Woods played in the Genesis Invitational Open. It's his first competitive tournament in a long time, obviously coming off the thing. And he's collegial, right? He's a fun guy. He's out there with his buddy Justin Thomas, who's a great golfer too, and they're a twosome. And Tiger Woods outdrove Justin Thomas on one of the holes. And a camera captured Tiger Woods reaching in his bag, walking up to Tiger Woods and handing him a tampon.
Yeah, like
I saw the video, but I didn't understand the context. Like, why did he do that?
He outdrove Justin Thomas. He's like, maybe next time you should play the ladies. He was insinuating he can't keep up with him, and because he's a female. And it was amazing because everybody lost their shit. And I'm like, no man's land, because I don't like making those jokes. It's just, again, career limiting doesn't help you, and it's a bad look. You're very welcome. Plus, it's just degrading. It's not a negative stereotypes are terrible things. And so he hands him this tampon, and I'm like, that's funny because I've done the same thing.
Did you
buy them at the pro shop? What, like, how do you plan for that kind of bit?
Like 20, 30, plan for that bit. 20, 30 years ago, guys had them. It was a thing, right? Where you
guys just had them?
Yeah, it's like it's like this weird golf culture joke where it's like, next time, take out your tampon. It's like this very misogynist. It's incredibly misogynist. But between those two guys, if the camera wasn't watching, everybody was freaking out. And I'm like, it took me 20 minutes to go, sorry, where was the problem here? Like,
oh my gosh. See,
guys having a good time. Where's the problem? I know. I would never do that, but that's how my mind is wired, where you're playing up, having a good time. And no one was making fun of women. But in the end, the negative stereotype that's reinforced is women aren't as strong as men, right? Exactly. That's kind of where it came from. Yeah.
I have the audio, by the way.
Which is true.
Can we play it? Can we play it? Okay, I don't know if it's going to work. But.
25 or more in 4 of her last 5. Miller and Maryland, 66-61 winners. It's their 4th straight win. Let's get back to the actual basketball there in Ann Arbor. Joey Hauser.
How did the burger lady keep her job, but not that guy? Or sorry, how did that guy not keep his job? And I don't know what.
How did
he keep his job and the burger lady lose hers? Great question. I don't know. People have different values.
Actual basketball, the best.
Let's get back to the actual basketball with men. That's what he said. Sickness.
It's the worst. I retweeted it. I have to go to acupuncture.
Get out of here. Yeah, we got to be done too. We're out of here. Marianne Iverson, the Let's Take This Outside podcast is where you can find her every single month. She puts out a new episode this month.
Every 2 weeks. Yeah.
You're talking with Dawson Mossman.
Dawson Mossman is this Dawson month? Mossman. Yep. And then I have a new episode coming out on Tuesday. And I want to welcome my new sponsor, Exact Nutrition, Canadian made. They're out of Quebec and they make really great endurance, like fruit bars that are fantastic. So
awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it. We'll look for that podcast. I'll get you out of here. There you go. See you later. There she goes. What a whip. And that's my boy, Scott Trades. Scott
Thanks
Wallet.
for having me on, brother.
I'm going to call you Scott Wallet from now on. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Hot Wallet, Scott Wallet. He's got a podcast called Hot Wallet. He's got a new podcast coming out. I'll let you get back to editing. I know you were doing that before I called you in.
Thanks, man.
Called you in from the bullpen. Really looking for it. When does the episode drop?
Probably Friday. I'll probably put it out Friday, and hotwallet.ca. And if you go to my website, you can sign up for the email alerts. I don't email that often, but then you'll know that I have a new episode out. Also, if you have a chance, leave a review of my podcast on Spotify or Google. And if you have a chance, subscribe to my YouTube channel. That would be solid, because that kind of stuff keeps me motivated. And then maybe I'll do more.
That'd be nice, because you're an educator. Stockmarketmentor.com, hotwallet.ca, at Scott Trades is where you can find him. He's a financial educator, my friend and yours, and he's a great content guy too. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate you doing this.
See you, buddy.
All right, man. Take care. Scott Trades, Marianne Iverson. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Really appreciate it. Quick one today. We'll be back tomorrow around 4 o'clock. Have a wonderful afternoon. Don't forget to thank our friends and partners that make this possible. Our guys over at Cantork.com, Canada's assembly tool experts. Cantork, we can make rugged, hardworking, beautiful torque wrenches. Colin Livingston is your principal there, and not only does he do a great job of making sure that he puts a torque wrench in the hands of the people that need it in industries that absolutely have to have a custom answer. Railroad, heavy machinery, nuclear, doesn't matter what it is. If it's a big project and you need a torque solution, you need a torque wrench that nobody else makes, they will make it for you. They make them around the world for big businesses, small businesses, people that need the use of a loosener, fastener, et cetera, et cetera. So if you've got a bolting solution, no matter how big or small, they have it. Go to cantork.com today and check them out. Also, our friends at kivlaw.ca, St. Catharines criminal defense attorneys, top criminal defense lawyers in the hood. They're in Southern Ontario. If you are in that hood, they will help you. That's what they do. They know their clients need honest answers. You want to get your life back. Any kind of offense, anything you've been charged with, they're your first phone call and your first email, robert@kivlaw.ca. Check them out today. Also, my friend Ed at Ed's Fine Imports. His Get Your Clothing for men and boys. He's got a full online store, and he also sells some underwear, and we're sponsored by Gitch, Canadian-made underwear. Gitch3 is your promo code. If you go to Ed's Fine Imports and you order online 3 pairs of these bad boys, you won't be upset. You won't be unhappy. You'll love it. And the other thing is, you're going to have the ability to get a free pair of underwear with that promo code Gitch3. So 3 of those, and you get an extra pair for free with promo code Gitch3. Check them out today. The best underwear on the planet. Made for Canadians by Canadians. If you go to edsfineimports.com, he's going to help you out. He'll send them to you for free. Massive online store, too. They've got great stuff. edsfineimports.com. That's it for us. Have a great day. Thanks so much for being here. We'll talk to you tomorrow around 4 o'clock. Goodbye.